Mobile money operators have been given the firm assurance of refunding wrongful deductions on the e-levy transfers within 3 days. Now, the operators since Tuesday have actually started making some refunds, contrary to reports that this will not be realized. Dr. Ken Ashigbe is Chief Executive of the Telecoms Chamber, and he's been speaking to George Riafim on PM Express, the business edition.
What happened is that when the minister went to Parliament and announced the policy when he was reading the budget, we started engagement with GRA to prepare for when Parliament finally passes the bill into an act and the President assents it. So there was quite a lot of activity that happened. So by the 31st of January, the Commissioner General issued a letter asking that we go on a phased approach. Bear in mind that for us, the EMIs, then SIM registration of our parent companies were going on. So it was going to end on the 31st of July. So the plan was that the first phase was to coincide with that particular one. And for John and the banks, we were looking at July, when the Bank of Ghana had issued a directive as to when they were also supposed to be using the Ghana cards. So what our members had left that meeting with was the fact that we're going to work on the phase one, which was without a connection to the common platform. And so all the various developments have been done, tests had been done, and we're ready for that. But when finally the bill was passed into law and was assented by the President, we had a meeting with the Minister for Finance, who then announced to us that we're no more going to go with a phased approach, but we're going to go the full hog, which meant a connection to the common platform. And all of that was supposed to take about a month. But this is a really major project. You know, the number of use cases are so many, the number of customers are so many, the number of charging entities, and you're dealing with money as well. So in terms of the testing, and so all our members dedicated a lot of resources to it to try and get our systems ready to be able to go. But getting close to the time, we really realized that it was going to be almost impossible to get ready, to be able to test, to assure customers that everything was going to go seamless. So we had to write to the Minister for Finance, to petition that we wanted to ensure that customers had a seamless, user experience when we went live on 1st of May. So we believe that we should start with the on-net, where we did not need to connect to the common platform before you make any transaction. So when we spoke with the minister, with GRA also in attendance, it was agreed to this modified phased approach, which meant that now the EMIs, the banks, the fintechs, all of us in charging the e-levy, we restricted ourselves to what happened on our networks without necessarily going out. So for us, the EMIs, we call that the on-net transactions. So you do our transactions on net, but you also charged off net as well. And so because that decision was also taken almost in the last minute, it really took a lot of doing to prepare what you had already prepared, but you had left and started working towards the common platform and go back to that. And so come Sunday, I believe that for this massive nature of this project, we started very well. There were some challenges, as you would expect with any new project, but the good thing is that most of them have been fixed. Those that are still being worked on are things that we know when they are going to be fixed. Typical example is the fact that for one of the networks, because they had a cap for their charges, when it came to the levies as well, the law does not allow capping. They were still capping it. So what it resulted in is that if anybody was transferring money on that particular network, and you went above, the cap, then the taxes were not added up. So it means in that particular case, then that network, that EMI had to quickly find a way of resolving that, but it had to bear the cost of all the taxes that currently were being undercharged. So that also happened. And then there were situations where, for some of the EMIs, airtime, for example, that was not supposed to be taxed, was being taxed when they started it, they had to rectify it. For some of them, it was the communication of the charges, because you needed to split what your charge was and what the tax was.